Alright, guys. Uh, Josh here, By Night BBQ. Uh, gonna do a little brisket prep video tonight. Um, what I've got in front of me is a 13-pound uh, prime packer, Restaurant Depot. This thing's been wet aging for about 3 weeks, about 21 days. And all wet aging does for you is to bring out that beef flavor. We won't be injecting this one today. I'm not big on injections. I will do it. But 9 times out of 10, I just don't think that it needs it. Call me a purist, call me a traditionalist, call me whatever you want to. I usually don't inject. So, this one's for me. This isn't a comp trim. This isn't anything fancy. This is for my family for Super Bowl. So, I'm going to walk you through what I usually do just for us. This is a packer. So, you've got the point fatty part over here, almost like a ribeye, and this is your flat. And if you would call that the ribeye, I guess you would call this the sirloin. Fatty, lean, just the way it is. This is usually your hardest part, your hardest cut to cook and keep moist. There's enough fat in this up here to keep moist and be fine. So I was going to go ahead and trim this thing, and y'all can watch and listen to me or do whatever you want to. But this one has been wet aging. There are some brown stuff on it. We're going to go ahead and take that off. Let's get rid of all that. You can see there where it turns brown, just discoloration. Get rid of that. Get rid of any fat that isn't going to help you. What I mean by that, there's a lot of fat on these that just ain't going to help you. Like that right there. That's hard as a rock. Don't need it. Ain't going to do anything when it cooks. So, basically just keep going until you've got it all gone. And you do end up trimming a pretty good bit off of them, but that's the way it goes. And this little piece right here, this is a piece of fat that'll be on just about every brisket you get. It's connected to the decal. That's that big fat layer separates the point from the flat. And when you cook a brisket and you're going to separate it out for burnt ends, you're going to cut right along that decal. And that point's just going to peel right off the top of that flat. So just get rid of all the fat that ain't going to help you out. And everybody says fat's flavor, but depending on what kind of fat it is, it's either going to help you or not. It ain't none of this going to help you. You can take as much of the silver skin off as you want to. It's one of those things that you can pretty much trim and trim and trim and trim and trim till you about make yourself crazy trimming. Like I said, since this one's for me, I'm not too particular about it. If it was a comp trim brisket, I'd be going about it a little differently. And you can leave a little bit of silver skin. It ain't gonna kill you. But anything that's real thick, it's going to keep that rub from sticking. And I don't know about you, but I don't like wasting money on rub that I ain't going to taste. So that looks alright. And if this was like I said, if this is a comp trim brisket, which it's not, be very wise to go ahead and get your box measured so you know exactly how big that box is and what your slices need to be. Now I cook on a reverse flow, I cook on my lanes, and since you got that big plate and the heat's coming up off that plate, I tend to leave a good bit of fat on the bottom. I like to think of it as insurance. It's going to protect this meat from getting dried out. So that's a pretty good bit of fat right there, but we'll work with it. I ain't too concerned about it. Now if you were cooking on a gravity fed, or you got some water cooker or something like that, you might be more inclined to trim that fat cap, but I know what works best for my cookers, and been cooking brisket like that for a long time. So this is it. That's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to do to it. Pretty simple. I know I talked to a few guys that have a hard time trimming brisket, and a lot of it, if you just don't let it get too warm. If you can, take it out of the freezer, put it in the refrigerator, or if you've got it fresh, that's fine too. But the colder this piece of meat is, the easier it'll be. The easier it'll trim for you. That fat gets warm and it gets soft, and it's a pain in the ass. It helps to have a sharp knife, and this is just a curved boning knife. It's a Wusthof. Buy good knives. I get people ask me all the time, well, what makes trimming easier? Have a sharp knife. Nothing will piss you off more than trying to cut a piece of meat with a dull knife. Rub we're going to use today is, this is Plowboy's beef rub. I think it's called Bovine Bold. I had some sitting up in the cabinet. This is what we're going to use today. So it's a big cut of meat, but I like to think less is more. Don't go too heavy with it. Get all your edges. Get all that kind of stuff. That's it. So we're going to put it in the pan, and she's going to sleep overnight, and she'll go home tomorrow. That's it. And I'm going to pick up tomorrow with a cook video and start up and all that kind of stuff. I've had a couple people ask me about it, so we'll pick that up tomorrow. But I appreciate everybody watching. Everybody listened to me ramble. Hopefully you learned something. I hope you did. Y'all have a nice night, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.